Well, it seems like the damage control just gets worse and worse when it comes to Bud Light. But the thing is, now it seems like the companies that are coming out and speaking about this are actually the wholesalers for Anheuser-Busch and Budweiser overall, or in this situation, Bud Light. They're coming out and speaking on behalf of the company, it seems. We have a Montgomery based beer distributor who's actually coming out and talking their own personal truth, whatever the hell you want to call that, about the Bud Light controversy. They said we deserve to know the truth, and they're trying to expose it. So we're going to get into this article and see exactly what they have to say. But of course, guys, before we do, just consider giving this video a like so you can push us down to the YouTube algorithm, and consider subscribing if you truly hate Bud Light, because we're trying to hit 18,000 subscribers before the end of the month. It says a Montgomery-based Anheuser-Busch wholesale beer distributor has taken to the airwaves to share his displeasure with the Dylan Mulvaney controversy that reportedly caused sales of Bud Light to plummet nationally. Now, let's make something very clear. These wholesalers, I don't know if you want to call them innocent necessarily in this whole scenario, because again, they're not the ones who decided to run this ad with Dylan Mulvaney, right? They're not the ones who decided to do anything other than build a business that was surrounded around selling Budweiser or Anheuser-Busch products. That's their goal, right? So I understand where they're coming from. I'm just trying to be, honest and transparent. I understand that they're not the ones that are at fault here. However, it is very much their statement. You can definitely see later on. It is very much a damage control kind of statement. They're trying to separate themselves again from all the controversy. But it's funny that they're the ones coming out and apologizing. They're the ones trying to separate themselves from this nonsense. Meanwhile, you have Budweiser, you have Bud Light, you have Anheuser-Busch as a whole doing absolutely nothing to separate themselves from Dylan Mulvaney publicly. Yes, they said it in their earnings call, but that wasn't supposed to go public. Obviously, it did after the fact, but that's different. So let's see what more they have to say. It says Steve Tatum of Montgomery-based Bama Budweiser addresses the issue in a 1-minute radio ad airing on about 10 Montgomery and Selma area radio stations. We too at Bama Budweiser are upset about it and have made our feelings known to the top leadership at Anheuser-Busch, Tatum says in the ad. The voice of the consumer has been heard, and Anheuser-Busch has taken action. I don't think they have. I don't think they've taken enough action. You think by putting some camouflage on cans and putting Harley Davidson on some Budweiser cans is taking action? They're not taking action at all. They haven't even publicly came out and apologized for it, but it's a little too late for that. Things are going to roll into the motion that they're going to roll into. It says last month, Mulvaney, a trans social media influencer, posted an ad for Bud Light on Instagram showing a custom beer can. The video prompted a backlash among other celebrities and boycott among customers. Earlier this month, Anheuser-Busch pledged to give a case of Bud Light to every employee of an Anheuser-Busch wholesaler. How is that helping? Like, how is that going to help anybody? Again, your company, your executive decision to showcase a controversial figure like Dylan Mulvaney, I think that's putting it lightly, but let's just say controversial figure. Your decision to do that cost these wholesalers an ungodly amount of money. And you think an apology, you think something that's going to help them is by giving every employee of those wholesalers a free case of Bud Light? Are you fucking kidding me? That's like a constant reminder in their house while they look at it in the fridge of why they lost so much money. Why would they want that? Why would you even think that's even close to being an apology? Is insane to me. It says the country's largest brewer has also pledged to boost its marketing spending on Bud Light. It doesn't matter. Why don't you boost a fucking apology? God damn it. Like, I don't understand why you're boosting more marketing, trying to pander to conservatives all of a sudden when they weren't good enough before, right? They were just the ones who were dying off, according to the VP of marketing that you had. They were dying off, and you got to get new customers, right? So why are you trying to pander to those people who are dying off now? It says, according to the Wall Street Journal, in the week ending April 22nd, Bud Light's U.S. retail store sales fell 21.4% over the same period from last year. Meanwhile, sales of rival brands Coors Light and Miller Lite grew by an almost equal amount. Bama Budweiser, in business since 1988, has 2 facilities in central Alabama and covers Ortega, Elmore, Montgomery, Dallas, Lowndes, Perry, Wilcox, and Clark counties. Tatum said feedback on the ad has been completely positive. With a phone call coming from Nevada to show support, there's been no response from the corporate level, he said. I don't necessarily believe if the support for this particular ad that they put out is actually as much as they say. I believe that they're doing a lot of damage control. So of course they're gonna say, "Yeah, we're getting great feedback from this, guys. Join in. Everybody's happy with the apology that we gave." No, it's obviously not the case. Like, people are not gonna want to go and buy Bud Light. The numbers prove that this is not working. Like, all this apologizing from the wholesalers, none of that is working. This has already been done by everybody except the people that should have did it in the first place. And then they come out and say, "I'm just trying to look after Bama Budweiser." He said, "I've worked too hard to give it all away." And I sympathize with that. I sympathize with that. They've been around since 1988. 1988, and in 2023, they decided to give it all up for a tranny. That's essentially what corporate decided to do and said, screw all these people relying on our income and our money. Let's go woke and fuck it. Let's just lose a ton of money because ESG told us to do it. Like, why not? Why not? Unfortunately, these distributors do not get ESG money. Only the corporate level get ESG money. So, yeah, these CEOs, they're going to go party along and pretend like nothing ever happened. But the people at the bottom, the people who are actually pushing out the product, they're the ones who are going to have to suffer. And it's really quite messed up. It says, I'm just trying to look. It says, in a 1-minute radio spot, Tatum, vice president and general manager of Bama Budweiser, says, "We at Bama Budweiser, an independent wholesaler," I'm glad you made that clear, "employ around 100 people who live here, work here, and our children go to school here. We do not, and as I said before, did not support this issue involving Dylan Mulvaney. There was one single can made. It was not for sale and wasn't properly approved. As a result, the Bud Light brand has new leadership." Now, one thing is, obviously, it wasn't just one can because Dylan Mulvaney had many cans. So that whole, oh, one can, one posting, that's not necessarily true. That's being, fictitious a little bit. But the can was not for sale. That is also true. But it doesn't matter. The point is, this company decided to do something that a lot of people are heavily, heavily against. And that's the issue. A lot of these things get boycotted, and usually it's very minor to an effect. This is one of the first major boycotts because people are fed up. They don't care anymore. They don't give a fuck about these companies. If you want to go woke, you're not going to get the money from people who are into that shit anymore. Like, they're not into this, and you keep using these particular kinds of people to push products to people who they cannot relate to. You talk about relating all the time. This side of people talk about relating all the time, having to see themselves all the time, and you constantly use figures who these people who you're trying to sell beer to can't see themselves in. So by your own argument, it doesn't match. This whole argument that you've made over the last few years does not match to your performance and what you're trying to do with your marketing. So I understand you're trying to be more inclusive, more diverse, but at the end of the day, forced diversity doesn't sell. Inauthentic diversity doesn't sell, never sold, and will never sell. Diversity that is true and wanted and actually prospers naturally, that's what's gonna sell. But you're out here pushing all this bullshit and this fake diversity, it's never gonna sell. It says, Dylan Mulvaney is not under contract with Bud Light. The videos you may have seen are Mulvaney's own social media posts that went viral, and many web-based news outlets have distorted the story. I don't think they did at all. You deserve to know the truth, and life is too short to let a couple of individuals decide what you can eat or drink or spend your hard-earned money on. And remember, making friends is our business, not enemies. So, again, I'm not coming after the wholesaler because I understand they're kind of like they get in friendly fire over here. But I don't agree with this statement because, again, this statement tries to make it kind of like guilt trip you into wanting to buy their beer. Here's the thing. They like to say, oh, well, life is too short to let a couple of individuals decide what you can eat or drink or spend your hard-earned money on. That can go both ways. By you using Dylan Mulvaney, you're basically telling me where you stand, and then I can decide for myself what I want to spend my money on, and I decided that I don't want to spend it on Anheuser-Busch products or Budweiser for that matter. You make a product that is readily available everywhere in the country from God knows how many thousands of distributors. You're not making anything special. This is not like fucking gold here. So you're making something that is very competitive. You're making something that is easily accessible anywhere else, and you decided to alienate 80% of your customers to go after 5% or less of new customers. That was your choice as a corporate company, and then unfortunately your wholesalers are going to have to deal with the fallout. That's the company's decision to see what they could do for you. That's not us. We're not the ones to support you when your corporation that governs you has decided to go woke, and we are not down for that. So this is just showcasing more damage control over the whole Bud Light fiasco. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.